Hi, I'm Jennifer Tomlinson, Global Channel Marketing Lead at Microsoft. Welcome to the Partner Marketing Pros podcast, where we have candid conversations with Microsoft partners all over the world who have achieved strong customer acquisition and retention from their excellence in marketing. In this podcast series, our partners are going to share marketing experiences, secrets, and best practices, as well as practical advice and resources that can help you improve your marketing results and drive growth. In this episode, we will do a deep dive into social media and blogs and how they support modern digital selling. Joining the conversation today are two guest partners from Microsoft, digital agency 55 & 5, a full-service digital marketing agency based in London, England, that combines a complete sweep of marketing services with industry-specific dedication experts in the Microsoft ecosystem. And Rackspace, a 5-time Microsoft Hosting Partner of the Year, headquartered in San Antonio, Texas, helps customers in over 150 countries drive business results with technology. And we would like to welcome Chris Wright, founder of 55 & 5, and product director Barnaby Ellis, as well as social media manager from Rackspace, calling in today from London. Welcome, Chris and Barnaby. Thanks for making time to join us today. With dozens of Microsoft partners of different types and marketing sophistication all around the world as your clients, with various digital marketing needs, we're looking forward to hearing about the good, better, and best in terms of social media and blogging practices. And Kenichi, Rackspace in 2018, with over 39,000 Microsoft partners analyzed, you all earned the #1 spot in the Inbound Marketing Excellence Top 50 report from 55 & 5. You earned an unparalleled social media score of 97 out of 100, a new all-time high in the top 50. So I'm sure our listeners would welcome any insights you can offer today.
Thanks, Jennifer. It's a pleasure to be here and talk to you about the best practices from Microsoft partners.
Great, thanks. We're honoured to be named top spot, and we're delighted to share our experiences today.
Welcome to all of you. So let's get started. For the past 4 years, 55 & 5 has released their annual Inbound Marketing Excellence Top 50 report, which analyzes and ranks digital marketing efforts of Microsoft partners all around the world. You had 39,000 companies participate in 2018 to find the very best examples of websites, blogs, and social channels.
Sure. So 55 & 5 works exclusively with Microsoft partners all around the globe of all sizes. We're a Microsoft partner ourselves, so that really helps give us extra insight into the Microsoft partner ecosystem. We developed a channel measurement and optimization tool a couple of years ago that Microsoft has now licensed for use with partners. It's called the Microsoft Digital Benchmark Tool. We provide it as a no-cost assessment to partners who are looking to measure and improve their digital marketing efforts. So the data we collect allows us to compare and contrast partners' digital performance and allows them to get real insights into the activity across 3 core channels. That's their website, their blog, and their social media accounts. The tool performs 40 tests across these different channels. Broadly speaking, we're looking at the quality of content, how often it's updated, and how people engage with it. As well as the results, the tool also provides actionable advice and tutorials on how you can help improve your scores. Every year, we publish a report that identifies and ranks the top 50 partner companies from across the globe. We're currently gathering the data for this year's report, which will be the 5th edition, and it will be released at this year's Inspire Partner Conference.
That's awesome. And I do remember last year it caused quite a stir at Inspire when you all released your inbound guide. So that's exciting. Can you explain then the best practices for the highest rankings on each of those dimensions that you mentioned, the web, the social, and the blogs?
So with websites, we're looking for fresh, easy to read, search engine optimized content. So sites that are updated twice monthly with content that scores between 50 and 60 on the Flesch-Kincaid readability score. This means that the content's not overly complex to understand. So 10th grade level is perfect. So that's year 11 for our UK listeners. It should be built with good semantic error free code. So that should be optimized for search engines and it should load really quickly. So you should be looking for a Google speed of over 80 for your mobile and desktop sites. That's really great. Then you should also have good inbound and outbound links, aiming for at least sort of 3 to 6 inbound and outbound links for each post. This not only helps the search engine finders find your content, but also it indicates that you're a valid, active website and establishes you as an authority on your chosen topic. The top 250 Microsoft partners all have LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter social accounts, and and the best performing channels are updated multiple times per day with engaging content. So, for example, our highest performing Twitter accounts are updated 5 times or more each day, and they're liked and retweeted on average more than 10 times per post. Then in terms of blogs, so blog content is measured in a similar way to website content. Again, it needs to be easy to read, updated at least twice monthly. And we also look at the length of the posts and the number of words per sentence. So they're, again, looking at the sort of readability of the content. And then the key is to understand your audience and writing on topics that they can relate to. That doesn't matter whether you're a small niche player or a large distributor, it's the same challenge. There are a number of analytical and social listening tools out there that can help you identify topics to tackle if you're not sure. But also don't forget that your sales teams are often the best people to understand your clients and customers and prospects. So it's important to use that resource and make sure you're including them in your content planning process.
Great advice. And I really love how this tool helps our partners to just be smarter about how customers can see them from the outside and give them that view from the test that you all do. So Chris and Barnaby, there was a Microsoft partner, Harmony, that ranked #1 for blog scores in your annual report. And I'm curious if you can tell us a little bit more about what they're doing to earn that top position.
Sure, Jennifer. There are 4 key elements of the Harmony blogs that are worth highlighting here. Firstly, regular posting. Secondly, that they align the messaging with their product. Thirdly, they align the messaging with the rest of their marketing activity. And finally, they highlight their relationship with Microsoft. So it's these 4 elements that contribute to their success. So in terms of regularity, they post 4 times per month, 3 times on their own website, and they also write 1 guest post. This is written by a senior member of staff. And as well as generating inbound links, it helps to establish Harmony as a respected voice in the industry. Because they're posting frequently, their readers know that there's good, regular content.
And I think that's really important. Readers know there's a good reason to come back because of the quality of content that they're going to get.
Then in terms of aligning the content with their product messaging, they work closely with their persona profiles. The topics that they write about need to align with the wider product and marketing positioning. And where appropriate, it relates to new product releases and features. But it also takes a view on the typical challenges that their audiences face, particularly in the Microsoft ecosystem of products. So this helps establish them as a thought leader. The content's also aligned with the rest of their marketing activity. So it references Harmony events and webinars, and it's supported by other content assets. So that's ebooks and white papers and case study downloads, things like that. And it's promoted with email marketing and paid media campaigns. So this blog activity is just one part of a multi-touch approach to nurture and engage with people. And then finally, they're really proud to talk about their relationship with Microsoft. They highlight this partnership. They're clear about how and where they add value for their customers. And they also talk about their work with other Microsoft partners. They're always looking to grow their network and celebrate other influences in the Microsoft ecosystem. So it's a combination of all those 4 elements that earn them the top spot, #1.
That's great. Thank you for all that insight, because I think the scores kind of give you an indication of the health of what's going on underneath inside the company. And so you realize how much effort and work it takes to really do a great job in the test. So that's awesome. So very cool. And congrats to Harmony. And speaking of blogs, as you guys have looked across blogs through the many partners that you've worked with, what do the best performing blogs have in common? What kind of tips can you give to our listeners?
Okay, so the best performing blogs provide timely, well-written, engaging content on a topic that grabs the attention of the reader. It needs to whet their appetite and hopefully makes them want to come back for more. And then more can be anything. It could be converting them from a first-time reader to a subscriber or a social media follower. More could be converting an anonymous reader into a marketing qualified lead. That could be an inquiry form submission, a white paper download, an event registration. So we're looking to make engagement and get them to do something else. It's important to remember that blog posts, as I said before, they're one part of your marketing activity. So it needs to align and work alongside with the rest of the content that you're publishing. In terms of understanding the reader, the best blogs are targeted to a particular persona. So you should do your homework to understand your audience, the jobs roles that they have, the industries that they work in, and the particular pain points that they have, the things that keep them up at night. The more you know about them, the better positioned you'll be to create content that they find engaging. So the content strategy is one part, but there's also how the blog is written itself, the sort of format and structure, making sure you're doing that right. So a blog post is typically between sort of 800 and 1,500 words in length, and it should be written in a way that takes your reader on a journey. It tells a story that provokes questions and then answers those questions in the blog post itself.
I think one really important thing as well is that the blog should try and answer questions that the reader can't necessarily get anywhere else. So we talk about engaging content and helpful content. It's very easy to write a topic where, Me Too content, where everything is just being repeated from existing stuff, or maybe someone else has done that content better. But the really powerful blog content is people that, as Barnaby says, answer a question, but it's a question where the person can't get an answer anywhere else. And that's where it becomes really, really helpful and helps you stand out.
So as you've said, once you've got that question answered, it should be really clear what you want people to do next. So typically your blog post should end with a call to action. What do you want them to do? When they get to the end, there should be something that provokes a reaction. Then once you've got that sort of beginning at the end, the premise of the topic that you're going to talk about and the call to action, you need to get your audience to understand why they need to do that, understand the problems that they commonly face, what's unique about your company and why the reader should trust you when you answer that question. And then finally, in terms of the structure of the blog, you need to be able to, you need to break it down into digestible chunks. So make it easy to read in its format on the page. So keep the sentences short, make them really easy to read, and then break them up. Make sure you're adding images and graphics and charts and any other supporting assets like that really brings the content to life and makes it as engaging as possible.
So now that we've had some best practices from 55 and 5, I'd love to go over to Kenichi and talk to you a little bit about Rackspace and your top spot on the social rankings. And can you tell us and our listeners a little bit about how you chose the platforms that are right for Rackspace? And then, what did you choose and why did you choose them?
Yeah, definitely. So in EMEA, we're focused on 4 main channels, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as YouTube. And LinkedIn is really key for us because of its incredible database. You guys should know, right? It gives us access to the largest collection of the world's professionals. We're able to uniquely target audiences, whether we're identifying them through a persona or an industry. We can serve specific content that's created specifically for those audiences. On Twitter, we tend to use that channel to support a lot of event-based activity. So that's things like trade shows and conferences, workshops. Twitter has incredible reach, and we have a really mobile, engaged audience there. So we really love to leverage that. It's a great place to start a conversation or participate in a conversation and leverage trending hashtags. On Facebook, we've got a really, really strong employee network and a strong employee presence. Our rackers, as we call them, those are Rackspace employees. They spend a lot of time on Facebook out of office hours, but they're a really active bunch, and they love to do things like taking part in a lot of our initiatives, like Rack Gives Back, which is an employee volunteer scheme, and we encourage them to share their experiences and share those moments on our social channels as well, and leveraging our Facebook handles. On YouTube, we're still very much developing a more robust strategy here. We currently use that to support our video production for customer stories.
Thank you for sharing all of that. I love that you talked a little bit about Facebook and how it's kind of a place that your rackers can sort of participate and extend the brand a little bit and the culture of Rackspace. So Definitely feel like we want to reinforce that a lot of visitors prefer to learn things or to be entertained on social media rather than being sold to. And I know it's a fine balance there. And so looking at social media posts that promote engagement versus ones that are kind of sales oriented tends to be we kind of apply the 80-20 rule there, where 80% of the posts focus more on that engagement and community building. And then 20% are a little bit more on the sales or promotional pitch, just to keep things to be very genuine. So that's great. Another stat we have is that 86% of marketers believe that it's important for brands to remain consistent online so that they don't confuse their audience or give them a reason not to trust you. And so I know consistency is really important at Rackspace. And how do you all maintain this consistency on your social platforms, but also be respecting the differences between the communities and platforms and their expectations on the different social media properties?
Yeah, so consistency is key. And whether you're reading a Rackspace blog or listening to the latest podcast or surfing the internet and you're served a banner, the brand message that Rackspace conveys will always follow the same sentiment. That Rackspace are cloud experts, world leaders in IT. We're obsessed over IT, and we don't want our customers to have to be. So we do that for them. It's part of the strategy that we convey, and we use social media to leverage that. Example of when we're promoting blogs across our social platforms, we tend to feature our rackers. We make rackers key. They're subject matter experts in what they do. So we make them the authors of our content. And we distribute that across our channels. And featuring them really kind of helps with that engagement. Again, kind of tapping into their networks, leveraging their networks and their connections, but also giving them a platform to be able to distribute their content and empowering them to be sort of proud in the work that they're doing and empowering them to share it.
Love this. I love it. So in addition to your company-run social media sites, it sounds like your employees, the rackers, as they call themselves, are very passionate and very active and huge advocates with personal profiles on the social platforms. So can you share with us just a little bit more on how you encourage and support them and just give them the latitude to participate in your social advocacy program?
Yeah, they are extremely passionate. And as I said, they're subject matter experts with some really kind of deep, complex technical knowledge, especially when you're entering the world of cloud. It's really incredible that they help to demystify a lot of the complexities with technology and naturally want to be able to share that. So we empower them by we partner with LinkedIn on a program called LinkedIn Elevate, which gives them the opportunity to create and curate their own content, as well as leverage content that exists within their industries and share that easily across their social profiles. So as I said, it gives them a platform to showcase their expertise, as well as developing their personal careers. It's really important that they have that opportunity as they're developing and learning to be able to use that and show that and also be empowered to do that. There is a mutual kind of reciprocation when they understand that, I'm being given all these opportunities to be able to showcase what I do. They're almost happy to share it. So it's got a good kind of halo effect. But we also run programs as well to sort of drive that engagement. So things like competitions. We do a lot of stuff internally as well that kind of aims to keep them engaged in what they do, but also participate and share those things and be public about what they're experiencing.
That's awesome. I think that it's a really fine balance, and it's really important to have your employees have a stake in, what's going on in the company and feel invested. And I think this is a great way to do that and great example. So can you, without sharing any kind of secret sauce, can you just share with us a little bit about how Rackspace looks at social media KPIs and measurement? Because I know it's one of those spaces where a lot of people are confused about what they should be looking at and considering and how it's having an impact on the business?
Yeah, so it really does vary dependent on what the activity is. So the KPI changes based on what the strategy or the tactic is for the activity. But on the whole, we're really focused on driving social engagement. And so that's having audiences that demonstrating that they understand the content that we place in front of them. So getting them to like, share, or comment, or in some cases, inaction. It's often what audiences are not doing, which can give you the valuable data.
Perfect. And then on that note, and I'm sure you have a couple examples handy, but could you share with us a couple of top performing posts or activities that you all did at Rackspace that involved some social components and when you had the best responses from your prospects and customers?
Yes. So Rackspace hosted a workshop at Microsoft's offices. And it was designed to demystify the complexities of Azure Cloud, really with the idea of enabling business to unlock its full potential. And prior to the campaign, we conducted some extensive customer research. It was all about kind of collating feedback on the top challenges and concerns faced when dealing with Azure Cloud. We were then able to address those concerns directly through the workshop, and that was kind of the unique connection that we were able to build with the audiences. On LinkedIn, we ran a campaign that drove record registrations within weeks. We were at capacity with filling kind of submissions and attendances for that workshop. So it was a real success in terms of conversion. And it worked because the campaign was focused on targeting, really focused targeting audiences, tailored content that spoke directly to those audiences, and was really clear with the message that Rackspace could help them solve it. And those audiences provided an opportunity to network with like-minded individuals. They were able to connect with other businesses, organizations that were facing similar challenges. So it was a really productive session.
Hopefully some of our listeners can learn from some of the ways that you used social in your initiatives there at Rackspace. So I know we're close on time. And so Chris and Kenichi, I just would love to ask, I always ask this question, but what is one piece of advice that you'd recommend for a Microsoft partner that's kind of looking to improve their results with social and blogs and might be a little bit intimidated by the whole getting started in that area?
So we would always recommend that you stay on top of your digital marketing efforts. That's not only because things can change so quickly in the digital world, but also you need to be on top of the experience that your customer has when they research you online. And that can be really difficult, keeping the consistency and staying on top of things. So the Microsoft Digital Benchmark tool will really help here. It will break down your score across the different marketing channels that we talked about. And it will allow you to benchmark your scores over time and see how you progress and help to keep you on top of that work. Crucially, it will also tell you how to improve your scores. So we encourage all partners to keep coming back to the tool, seeing the results, but also looking at the sort of tutorial help that's there to help you understand how to improve those scores. Microsoft have really invested in this tool to help you improve the quality of not only your digital marketing efforts, but also your own marketing skills. So the tool is really good at helping you achieve both of those aims.
And Kenichi, any parting advice from you for the listeners?
Yeah, I would say keep your focus. There's a temptation in social marketing to want to do everything and want to do it all at once. I would say set yourself mini goals per month and work to those, and also measure every now and then to make sure if you're on track or off track. I would say plan activity, but be ready to be reactive. Use a content calendar to identify your kind of hits and highlights for content, but be ready to be reactive should something come unexpectedly. And lastly, I would say leverage all of the abundant material available. The social platforms have streams of best practices for engaging audiences and developing content for their channels. So take advantage of that.
Wow, we learned so much today. We heard about a new Microsoft Digital Benchmark tool available to partners and some best practices from our friends at Rackspace. So thank you both to 55 and 5 and Kenichi from Rackspace. You can find the digital benchmark tool at aka.ms/smartpartnermarketing. Thank you to Chris and Kenichi and Barnaby for sharing your experiences with us. Thanks for listening to the Partner Marketing Pros podcast. We hope you gained some fresh insights and learned some new practical ideas today that you can implement in your marketing program. See a detailed transcript of the session and helpful links in our show notes. We encourage you now to listen to the companion webinar, which will go into further detail on all of the things that you heard here. It is located within Smart Partner Marketing at aka.ms/smartmarketing. This is just one of a 9-part series that is designed to help you accelerate your marketing efforts to engage buyers and propel your business growth.